Tomoyo Linux demonstration, Kickstarting on Ubuntu 10.04. Tomoyo Linux is a security module for Linux systems. This movie demonstrates how to set up Tomoyo Linux on Ubuntu 10.04. Tomoyo Linux has two versions. Version 2 is available for Linux 2.6.30 and later kernels. Version 1 is available for various distributions, various versions. This movie uses Tomoyo Linux version 2. Ubuntu 9.10 and later are distributed with Tomoyo Linux-enabled kernels. Therefore, you can use Tomoyo Linux by changing bootloader configuration and installing tools package. Modify bootloader's configuration file in order to enable Tomoyo Linux. Run update grub in order to reflect changes. Download and install tools package. Start Tomoyo Linux's policy editor. Since you've just initialized policy configuration, only kernel domain is defined and policy configuration for kernel domain is empty. You can change access control level using profiles. Currently 4 profiles are defined. Profile 0 is for disabled mode, 1 is for learning mode, 2 is for permissive mode, 3 is for enforcing mode. Assign profile 1 to kernel domain so that Tomoyo Linux records access requests occurred in the kernel domain. Quit the policy editor. You've finished all preparations. Now, reboot the system. The system is booting like normal Linux. But in the background, Tomoyo Linux is recording access requests occurred in the system. Tomoyo Linux records what programs were executed, what files were read, what files were written. You can record access requests occurred in the system using learning mode and restrict access requests occurred in the system using enforcing mode. You've finished rebooting the system. Log into the system. Let's browse what Tomoyo Linux has recorded. Start GNOME terminal and start the policy editor. all activities from boot till now are recorded as policy configuration by Tomoyo Linux. Thus, policy configuration for kernel domain is no longer empty. You can see that kernel executed sbin init and sbin modprobe. This screen shows domain transition re from sbin init. You can see what sbin init has requested. Go to domain for use for bin gnome terminal. You can see that the policy editor is executed from sudo executed by bash executed by gnome terminal. Do something in this terminal. For example, execute bin ls and bin ps and use for bin id. Read etc. stub using bin cat. Refresh the screen on the policy editor. You can find commands you executed are appended. Also, you can find files accessed by these commands. Assign profile 3 to bash executed by sudo and its descendant domain so that Tomoyo Linux restricts access requests occurred in this terminal. Do something in this terminal. You can see that only operations you did with profile 1 are permitted with profile 3. By using Tomoyo Linux, you can restrict operations for improving security. For more information, visit Tomoyo Linux project's website at tomoyo.sourceforge.jp.